You sent me like 170 consecutive responses. Like, what do you expect me to do with that?
I can attest to Aiko doing this, where she will just send you message before you get an even chance to respond.
I'm still not. I'm
It's so transparent. You're mad that people make fun of you on now recording.
I'm sorry.
So you're taking it out on us. That Edwin was sending inappropriate messages to minders. Is that better for your example?
When you
microdosing mushrooms and figure out what the is going on, because you're clearly not normal.
Oh my god, bro! Jesus, that is wild. Oh no, real voice moment. What's this Aiko Nicholas DeOrio conversation? So, okay, from what I understand, there's been some discontent with Aiko recently amongst the commentary community. Okay, I think from what I can gather, I feel like what's happened is Aiko's had some success talking about Edwin amongst the broader commentary community. So I think she's gone all in on it. I think she's gone all in on Edwin stuff and has done a bunch of streams about him. And now I think people are like starting to kind of turn on her a bit because she's getting a bit schizo about it. That's what I can gather. Hopefully Nicholas does a good job of laying it all out, because I'm fucking clueless about a lot of this, okay? All I know is Edwin was sending questionable messages to girls that were about 14. That's about all I know. He claims it was normal to message these people to get them to share your videos. I don't know, man. It sounds like weird emo scene shit in 2016. Anyway, let's see what happens, okay?
100,000 subscribers on his main channel that he's going back to, which is not in commentary. And they don't know anything. And everyone else is waiting basically for Nick to have a take so they know. Because people trust him.
Oh.
Okay, listen very, very, very closely.
Okay, we're going to speed this one up a bit, I think.
I have a take. How do I call in? Okay.
I think the reason that people are like looking to Nicholas to have a perspective is because he has recently interviewed Edwin. And I think it was seen as a bit of like a reinvigoration of the Edwin situation. And now he's got these new things that have dropped about the messages. And I don't know. Let's see what they say. No more pause Andying. We're going to watch.
Hello?
What's going on? I just kind of want to touch base and I want to see what the issue is.
I think it's...
Oh, means
I
business.
I expected you to, like, say something by now.
You know, honestly, the feeling is super mutual.
Really?
Okay, so there's this narrative going around that Nicholas DeOrio has not spoken about the Edwin stuff. Apparently he's called in and he spoke to a couple of streams about it. But people are saying he's not spoken up on the Edwin allegations that have just dropped. So that, I think, is what the context is there.
Well, yeah, I didn't expect Colton to drop your research.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Okay, but like, I don't understand how this is now my problem. If you've been going around showing little bits and tidbits to Augie saying, hey, maybe don't talk about this in the future until I do my video on my stream, or telling me like, hey, you're putting together like this whole wiki or whatever, don't mention it to Edwin, don't go public with it. I'm thinking, right, that your whole investigation is getting like fucked up if people go ahead and put shit out early or something like that. So I'm waiting for you. When are you posting about it?
It's been, I would say, it's been enough days since everyone found out about it with Colton's video. I didn't intend for that to happen. I didn't have any say or input or knowledge of what would actually be in there. It's just everyone else ghosted me. And
look, you sent me like 170 consecutive responses. Like, what do you expect me to do with that?
I don't know. Maybe not read them, but just be like, what? TLDR, something.
But you also...
What the... Yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand how people's conception of like messaging is so fucking insane. But that did happen. Where Aiko, and it was when I was on holiday, Nicholas sent me a message and was like, oh, look, I think I've made Aiko mad. And there was like the little preview and it had like 120 odd messages in. Where, so, you know, when someone sends you repeatedly messages and, you know, I can attest to Aiko doing this where she will just send you message before you get an even chance to respond. And then you got like an essay to look at and you're like, oh my God. you know? Whereas normally you'd expect a couple of messages backwards and forwards. You might respond when you're ready, or you've looked at something or whatever. But, you know, there is this expectation from some people that they're just going to read through all of your screeds. Anyway.
So apologize after all of those messages going, oh, I'm kind of like crazy right now. So
I'm
not really sure, like, so, okay, so where is this my fault then?
Oh, no, I'm saying that, like, this is, like, people look to you for your take on things.
But people
and
look
this
to
is
you for the 7 hours of content about Edwin. So when the guy with Legos releases the fucking allegations...
Literally, I had no other choice. Xylee was dancing on my grave. No. I wasn't... Okay, what I was going to do was initially...
I don't know. I don't hate Aiko. It's, you know, I've not spoken to Aiko for ages. Aiko was just a very irritating person to deal with. And I'm glad that I don't ever have to fucking deal with her or speak to her, because she's really annoying. It was kind of funny watching her go over to the commentary community, because, you know, now everyone is seeing how annoying she is to deal with.
Make the wiki about what happened with the Bab situation, but then I wasn't talking about it any longer. And then after that, yeah, everyone was just hanging out with him again. And it's a little bit... I just think, okay, you're the one who's talked to him. I haven't talked to him. No one else knows his side of the story.
Aiko, because I've done every single thing you've said, okay? Even when I had him on stream, which is against what he wanted, by the way. Like, I even promoted your stream following my conversation with him, saying if there's anything wrong in here, go watch Aiko, she'll clear it up. I've done everything you've asked. You've told me, hey, can you not mention this stuff to Edwin, all the stuff that's going on? I didn't mention it to Edwin, okay?
Yeah, no,
so can you not talk about this stuff prior to me releasing it? I didn't talk about it. Now, apparently, you've just fucking canceled your video, and I'm supposed to have, like, psycho knowledge into whatever you're thinking? I'm supposed to come out and be like, oh, well, this is clearly Aiko's actual rendition of these serious allegations.
Oh, okay. I understand what's happened. I totally get it, right? So Aiko has gone to Nicholas and repeatedly said, like, don't talk about this. I'm looking into this. Wait until I've put my stuff out, etc., etc. And he has acquiesced to that. But then this Colton fella has released a video, which apparently Aiko has provided, I guess, somehow supplied him with the information. And it's dropped, and now Nicholas is immediately expected to have a well thought out, put together perspective on it, when it's like just a random video that's dropped kind of out of nowhere, and he's had prior knowledge of this. Is that am I understanding it correctly? Is that what's happened?
Been recording through Legos? Really?
No. Well, I did it. No, it wasn't my video.
What am I supposed to respond to?
The Edwin situation. This isn't me. Like, I don't have extra inside knowledge. I've collected all this information that anyone could find. And at this point, what I'm doing is explaining and putting together how I found it in the first place. It's very simple. Hashtag mommy Edwin, hashtag sexy Edwin. Watch any of his creepy videos. Go to a Twitter handle and just like look through, search for @sexyEdwin. You find everything.
But don't get mad at everybody else because they didn't.
No, I'm not mad at anyone.
You didn't say you were canceling or you weren't releasing. We couldn't have known that.
No, it's not a we thing. Listen, I wasn't mad until, well, I'm still not mad. I'm frustrated.
You're mad that people made fun of you on Now Recording.
I'm sorry.
So you're taking it out on us.
Oh.
Here's the thing.
What's this all about?
I already said that I don't have a problem. And
okay, wait. No, it's sped up. So yeah, okay, I'm trying to piece this together. Yeah, DeOrio getting heated is kind of wild. He doesn't normally get mad about stuff, so he must be angry about something. There was this drama recently where Aiko suggested that there was some sort of gay ops happening against her, I think from people associated with the Now Recording podcast, and she kind of stated this and then ended up walking it back and taking a break because she feels like she got it wrong.
Please don't do the us thing. I'm saying you are, whether it's a meme or not, you are seen as the commentary arbiter. You are the person that...
Edwin, are you buying his shit now? Are you buying Edwin's shit now? That's an Edwin line.
What?
That's the thing that people say.
You know, I'll tell you what, I'm not the fucking predator poachers, okay? Don't point me in a fucking direction and go, well, you gotta talk about this. If it's fucking big enough, everyone's going to talk about it. I'm not like the fucking pedophile hunter. I'm not publishing your allegations.
No one is saying that he's a pedophile.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry.
I mean, that's okay. That isn't true. There's a lot of people. Did I say that about him? I don't think I did I? I hope I didn't, because I don't think he is. Did I say that? I can't remember. I might have joked about it. I can't remember. I can't even remember what I said fucking yesterday. I can't remember what I said on Monday on stream. She took a break because she accused Matt Pitt of gay ops and realised she was wrong about it. Right, okay. It was Big Greg, if anyone did it.
Let's go super autistically specific about this. That Edwin was sending inappropriate messages to fucking minors. Is that better for your example? Okay, I'm not publishing that information. When you release it, okay, I'll talk about it. But I'm not the fucking predator poachers. I'm not the police. I'm not investigating fucking pedophile crimes. I'll cover them when they're out.
Okay, you have sources.
Okay, wait a sec though. Okay. Could it not be argued that, like, there's enough in that video to go on? Like, you might not be the predator poachers, but if you had an interest in talking about it when Aiko's video was released, there's like some stuff in there you could talk about, surely. Why do you need to wait for Aiko's video specifically to come out? You can just go, oh, this video has come out. Here's what I think about that.
That I have no way to access. You didn't ask
Edwin? Like when I asked you if you could submit questions to the interview that you had such a big problem with, and you didn't fucking send me any?
I thought that
to you?
I thought that the interview was great.
Really? Because you were fucking live DMing me the entire time, telling me how bad it was.
Yeah, because I was very like
when you didn't microdosing mushrooms and figure out what the fuck is going on, because you're clearly not fucking normal.
Oh my god, bro, Nicholas is popping off. I mean, he's got a point, hasn't he? Jesus. That is wild. I don't think you even need to know what's going on to find that entertaining. So hopefully this will be a good YouTube segment.
Okay.
Shut off the stream for like 7 hours. Go to sleep. I don't know. You're just not acting like yourself.
Okay. I mean, my point is just that this is.
I think, okay, without knowing the ins and outs of it, I think he does have a point there, because I do think Aiko has been doing these insane, endless streams about Edwin, like obsessing and talking about Edwin endlessly. And it's like, at some point, you got to call it quits. I don't know, like, it just feels like she's going and poring over every possible detail of what's going on with Edwin. Like she is the fucking Edwin News Network.
About me. This is about figuring out what's up with Edwin. No one is calling him, well, whoever's calling him a pedo or a groomer or whatever, that's not me. And as far as I know, Colton didn't, at least not when if he did in some other place where I wasn't watching, then that doesn't have anything to do with me.
Okay. Hold on. I think that's a bit dishonest though, because no, you're not explicitly saying, oh no. Oh no! Real voice moment. What the fuck was that? Hello? Test. Okay. I'll be fine. That was just my real voice. No, I do have this problem with my voice. I lose it from time to time. I need to do voice warm-ups, you know, like actors do. I can't, it's too gay to do on stream. The Glizzy Gobbler. Glizzy mode activated. That was me at the weekend. Anyway, come on, let's focus.
Hold on, I got to address this. Nick, you're being an asshole. I want you to know that I offered Aiko to have this conversation 2 days ago. And then I sent in Augie to ask her again if she'd have this conversation 2 days ago in private. And Aiko told me, after the stream, we'll talk about whatever he wants to talk about. Okay, so I'm not doing house calls. She wants to talk about this publicly. We'll talk about it publicly, okay? I'm not bullying anybody. I offered to handle this privately, quietly.
Here's the thing. It's not about me. I didn't want you. I wanted to see what you had to say about the situation, because you know more than anyone else, as far as I know. I don't know anything.
You know more than everybody else.
How?
Because you're the one who researched it. Because you're the one who gave Colton the information. Because you're
Hasn't Aiko been looking at this for like I just said? She's been doing countless hour-long streams about Edwin. She's watching my conversation with him again, which, by the way, all more power to you, Aiko. Okay? Good luck to you. But like, she's poring over every single detail of this with a fine-tooth comb. Like, at this point, I think she knows more than anyone else does. She should do, at least.
when he told me about it. So clearly you know more than everybody else here. So when
You
will you
spoke
be
to-
publishing all of your research?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. You're the one that talked to Edwin.
Okay, I didn't talk to Edwin about fucking grooming minors or something fucking 10 years ago. That's your zone here.
No one said that he was grooming anyone.
I'm sorry. He was sexting children. Is that a better example of what you're accusing him of? Which very well
I'm
might be true. I don't even
accusing him
care
of-
if it is. If he is, fantastic. Get him, okay? I don't see...
No.
I mean, is that not like the flavor of what's being alleged? Like, what is the accusation then? Why should we, you know, what is it we should be bothered about? My interpretation of the video was that he was sending inappropriate nude messages to underage girls. That was what I thought the point of the video was, and that's what we should be outraged about, right? So, like, what is it then? What is the allegation? What, you've been looking at this, you've done the investigation into this. What is it that Edwin has done that you think is wrong? I think I know based on watching the video, but it seems like Aiko hasn't got a clue.
This
No,
is becoming my
I'm sorry.
problem.
No. It's not your problem. It's just, I think that it's.
But has he been convicted? Good question.
I don't want to say responsibility is too strong, but I think that it makes sense. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to have a take, like an actual take.
With Ball Blacks, what was wrong with my take? I have a clip of you talking about and regurgitating exactly what I said on stream. So, like, what's the problem with it?
You didn't have a take. It was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
No, it wasn't like, yeah, I don't know. I compared it directly to a previous situation that happened with Pro Jared, where Pro Jared was sexting people without, like, verifying the age, right?
Yeah,
and he got catfished with actual nudes. Edwin didn't do that. In my opinion, in that argument, as I presented in a video public to my channel, I condemned Pro Jared for those actions, despite the fact that the rest of the internet was just talking about him getting catfished, because he shouldn't be sending suggestive things to places where he can't correctly verify the age. So I'm just wondering, as I apply that directly to Edwin, how you see that as, well, I'm not really sure. You know, we'll see. Because I feel like I gave a pretty specific example for what I thought.
Yeah, but this is a different situation. We don't know I don't know who Jared is. And I don't think, like, this is about specific actions. This is about, like, okay, if you don't want to, just say you don't want to.
I want to. It's that I did, okay? And you're for some reason just not accepting that that was a response. I did a stream with Bo Blacks. We talked about it for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I saw.
Did I not give this enough clout? Did you not get a retweet from me? Like, I'm like actually so confused what the problem is.
Okay.
How can I further serve you, Aiko?
Fuck. The thing is I think Nicholas and Aiko are like supposed to be on friendly terms, if not more friends. I mean, I don't know the nature of their interactions, but like, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be on good terms. And now he's just absolutely unleashing on her. I think this is bottled up, to be honest. I think this is bottled up anger at what's happening. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Have a good stream.
Oh, what? He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He's left. Oh no.
Stingy didn't like that.
Oh. Not the tears. Woman moment. Plutonin, I'm starting to think you got a problem with women. Am I correct in that?
Let's find another good one.
This is weird, man. Just end the stream at that point, surely. Just call it a day if you're feeling emotional. I'm never going to cry on stream. What is this she's watching? Wow. She is going in deep into the allegations here. What is this?
Here's a live stream. Mommy Edwin and Daddy Seer. Very cool.
Do you remember? Oh my God. Do you remember when I made a couple of memes about the accents. And people kept sending the clips to Aiko. Oh my god, man, that was so bad. Why did someone do that? Just sending a oh look, here's Chud being racist, mocking your people's accent. What do you think of this? Well, yeah, obviously she didn't like it very much, did she? I got loads of messages. Oh. That was a funny time, man. Those days are long gone, it feels like. The times there are changing. That was so funny, though. The idea that someone, every single time I did some sort of meme about an Asian accent, they would send it to Aiko. Why? Why did you do that? Like, come on. Okay, right, anyway.
Hey.
Nicholas DeOrio.
Hopefully I could explain some context to make more of this.
If you're not putting your camera on, I'm going to put that ugly picture of you up, okay?
Oh, fine. I paid for that picture.
Oh, yeah, you did. That's true. Where is it?
That guy's
okay, here
good.
it is. Here it is.
Yes.
There we go. Perfect. Gives the same effect. There we go.
How you been, buddy?
Oh, by the way, I don't know who owns. Oh, I suppose the artist owns this. Can you see if we can use it on the thumbnail? Because I'm sure this will become a YouTube segment.
Oh, he lets everybody use it. Just put his Twitter ad. I'll give it to you. Put it in the description.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. What? Right. This is all. I'm lost on all of this.
Yeah.
Can you explain it in a way that's actually interesting, though?
Hopefully. So, you're familiar with like the Edwin lore? You were involved in some of it. I guess the seer stuff was your stream, which ended up in a lot of videos and stuff. There was a whole big blowout argument in January where a bunch of stuff was happening. He got accused of a bunch of shit, and then he took like 8 months to respond. Right?
Yes.
So I linked up with him in like February, and we talked and say like, oh, we could do a debate or a conversation about the video I made on him. I didn't think he was actually going to do it. You know what I mean? I figured it wouldn't go well, and he just never would schedule. And then here I was in September, and he's like, all right, Nick, I'm ready for your debate. And I was like, oh, all right, I guess I kind of got to do that now, right? So it had been such a long time. I had to like, I guess, like spend an entire weekend asking everybody a bunch of questions, trying to remember all the lore. Like, because I mean, this has been like 8 months, you know? And I messaged Aiko because I know she's been covering it a lot. I don't know what happened, but Aiko was kind of going like a little, I don't know, they were calling it Psycho Aiko because at one point she'd sent me like 138 consecutive DMs as if that was something at any point like I was planning on reading. She started accusing people of running, I guess, I don't know how much this term is used on your stream, but gay ops.
Yes.
Apparently, like, all these random people were, like, in cahoots with this guy named Repzilla, who nobody likes at all. Like, it makes no sense. It just seemed like schizo ramblings.
Yeah. Okay, I did see a bit of that. Repzilla is an old, like, skeptic YouTuber that was mixed up with, like, the Sargon of Akkad types and whatnot, right?
No. I think you
that's
might be thinking of
That's Repzillion. Okay,
and
who's Repzilla then?
Repzilla is like this guy with a southern accent who talks about like rape on YouTube. That's probably the best. Well, anyway, I think it's pretty bad to rape people. That's like what his content is. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. Primic made a few videos on him. He's a little, he was hit by a car. That happened too. Thank you, Pilkington. All his stuff. Yeah, that's Repzilla. Anyways, not really super important for the lore, but she was going a little crazy, and then she kind of issued like apologies privately and publicly and said she was going to chill. And then Colton drops this 8-minute nuke video. Now, context, okay? Aiko has been planning to drop, like, if that was a nuke, I don't know, like an H-bomb on Edwin for, like, the last 3 months. She would bring people into calls and show them little tidbits, like me and Augie and all these other people saying, like, here's a little bit of what I have. Right. And then she'd say, but don't tell anybody because like, I don't want Edwin to go and delete anything, or don't tell anybody because I'm going to promote my stream with this and stuff like that. Right. So the last time I'd spoken to her, I'd offered her, hey, you can weave in any questions you want. I have Edwin coming on stream. I don't think anyone else is going to get an interview with him. So feel free to like include those. But instead she started sending me schizo rambles about how Xylee's running gay ops with Repzilla. And I'm like, okay, never mind. You do you. But she told me that she was working on like a wikia of like all the deep Edwin allegations.
Oh my
right?
god! What?
Like
What?
this woman is apparently sitting on folders upon folders upon fucking. At least that's what she's claiming of like evidence on Edwin, right? Now there are two versions of what happens next. There's what Colton said and there's what Aiko said. Colton, as this random, like honestly, like this random lol cow who hasn't made a video in like 3 years, is claiming that Aiko reached out to him to be the guy to drop the nuke, which is fucking psychotic to me. Why this guy's doing an investigation with fucking Legos about Edwin messaging fucking minors. I think that's as good as the video was in parts, right? It makes absolutely no sense why you would now hand that off to somebody like Colton, as much as I don't want to give him any more shit than he's already gotten, right?
Well, wait a second, because I watched. I don't want to throw you off your thing, but like I watched that video, and whilst I think there's definitely some question marks over some elements of it, it was a pretty good video, and the allegations, like there's definitely questionable behavior there, right?
Absolutely. But my problem is I know Aiko has more. So
Right.
like anyone who's talked to Aiko would naturally be like, okay, let's wait here and let's see what comes out next. Right? Because I don't want to react to somebody who's regurgitating what Aiko told them in a Discord call. I want to hear what Aiko has. I want to see like all the because people were asking Colton, oh, you've archived all these links, right? No. Well, Aiko did. So Aiko has all this information. Colton is probably like the most irresponsible person you could have given, and he did the best he could with what he had. But now Aiko's claiming, against Colton's whole version of the story, that like Colton stole this information. That's what she was telling me on that stream. That like Colton was not supposed to release this at all, and that he just took random stuff from their group chat. And then she's wondering why I'm not responding to this publicly, as if this is like a formal allegation.
Right, I see. Okay.
Apparently, he was like a rogue entity. Now that's the current narrative.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal with it either way is, but I remember when I saw the video, and because I obviously have got some opinions about Aiko. I was like, oh god, Aiko's a bit inept. I wonder what this is going to be, and wrote it off as some nonsense. And I watched it. I was like, okay, fair enough. But I thought, based on watching it, Aiko and Colton had like definitely worked together to bring this video out. That was my.
Yeah, I think the new narrative is a lie. I think that she asked him to put it out. But again, I don't know that for a matter of fact, so I'm not going to say it as like a definitive statement. I guess I thought my like hour-long recollection and like talk with Bo Blacks would have sufficed for like a preliminary take on this situation. I'm not really sure why I was being called on to do more. And it wasn't just me. I'm the one who said something. She's like attacking this Xylee person, I guess, because they helped fact check an age together. And Xylee doesn't want to get into this again after she just had to deal with the whole last wave of this drama. It doesn't really make sense to me. It just felt like oh, everyone needs to cover this because I'm talking about it type thing, even though I'm not actually publishing all the stuff that I claim to know.
Right. Okay. I understand. So, at first, because I was thinking, we'll just talk about the Colton thing, but you have spoken about it, and you're given your take you feel is adequate based on what's presented. But then you are privy to maybe other stuff that you think you want to wait for the full narrative or the full story from Aiko to come out before you.
It felt like this was more personal because she was weirdly evasive. So I found out, because me and Bo Blacks were talking, I was like, well, hey, where's Aiko? I started asking about Aiko in that stream, right? Well, I come to find out Colton was streaming on his channel, and like the only person in the chat was Aiko live messaging during the entire conversation. So I'm like, now wait a minute, what the fuck? Wait, so she watched the whole thing, she just didn't throw her 2 cents in there, and she's like talking a little shit. So I message her and I go, hey, I just want to like get to the bottom of this. Can we figure this out or whatever? And she ghosts me, completely ghosts me. So I go, I have an idea. I'm going to send in Augie to go, because she's not mad at Augie, right? To go ask her a bunch of questions and then see if she'll just talk and we can, settle this in 5 minutes privately, kind of see where we're at. And she tells Augie, well, I need to go say what I'm going to say on live stream. And if he wants to talk after that, why not? So she was playing. And actually, I think she even said like, oh, I'm not going to mention Nick's name or something, despite the fact that she did on several occasions or whatever. It felt like more of a personal jab. So at that point, I was like, all right, fine. We'll just air it all out,
Okay, so yeah, basically you feel that she was kind of taking these jabs at you. And my understanding is you're on good terms before this, at least.
We weren't really speaking, no, because she kept sending me like 100 messages at a time.
But at one point you were, I believe. Am I misremembering?
I wouldn't say I was on good terms with her
Okay.
until like prior to the interview, because like while and that was one of the craziest things she lied about is she goes like, "Oh, I thought your interview with Edwin was really good." Really? Because you sent me about 70 DMs, like seething about the entire thing. What are you taught? Like, why would you tell people that publicly? It's like so checkably false.
What was her problem? I never watched the interview, so I don't know either way. But
she was like going like every single point or whatever that I'd said across the entire stream, and at the end she's like, you know what, I'm sorry, I was going a little too crazy there for a minute or something like that. And then she like walked it all back by the time I even read them because I wasn't going to read her DMs live. There was this other aspect of this thing which was fucking crazy. You know the Babs girl that was accusing Edwin in the beginning? Are you familiar with her at all?
yeah, she was on Keemstar's show with him, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that girl. Okay, so Aiko gets in touch with me and goes, you got to talk to Babs. And I'm like, I really don't want it. I just wanted to do this last interview and be done with it because I don't really care, realistically. It's not my, like, I don't know. I'm not like super invested in this situation any more than I was in January, right? But I go, yeah, sure, I'll talk to her. And then I thought, this is actually like a pretty solid opportunity to get some like actual questions in here. So I kind of really do want to have this conversation now. The next day I woke up. So I start messaging her back, right? And then she's like kind of answering some things, not answering others. And then I followed up again. I go, well, when are we going to have this conversation? Would you like to schedule it for like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or something like that? We can get everybody together. And she goes, Babs is done with commentary. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? You're the one who asked me to talk to her, right? So apparently all the stuff, like the gay op shit with Rebzilla made her go like fucking schizo, right? But I'm thinking, based on this conversation, that Babs just said, go fuck yourself, I'm not going to talk to you. So now I go and do my stream, and then Babs is in my chat, like arguing with me through messages, right? Like through my chat. And I'm like, well, why are you here now? You didn't even want to fucking talk to me. I come to find out, Chud, Babs was not informed about any of it. Not that we were going to talk, not that the interview was canceled, not that the interview was even a possibility. Aiko just completely went rogue and scheduled this fucking girl, this alleged victim, for a fucking conversation with me.
What? And so she said that you'd speak to her.
Yeah.
And you went and
This
said
girl
you would.
had no interest in talking to me, and Aiko scheduled me to talk to her,
Right,
and then canceled the interview and made it sound like that Babs didn't want to talk to me when she quite literally didn't have anything to do with this. She wasn't even involved.
My chat a bit confused, and also
Yeah.
I think that, you know, they don't even know who the fuck Babs is. But I'll quickly explain. Yeah. So basically, Aiko said to Nicholas, you should speak to this person and arrange the time for them to speak. And then when Nick said, okay, I'll speak to them, Aiko said, oh, they don't want to talk anymore. They're done with the commentary community. But this Babs person never wanted to speak in the first place. Aiko basically constructed an interview with Nick that was never a thing.
Like a person who's accusing somebody of sexual assault, like somebody I'm also in contact with. Like this would be like a really, I guess, difficult conversation to have. You know what I mean? Like that's not like one that you go, oh, by the way, I booked you with Nick. You're going to talk to him privately at like fucking on Thursday night or something. I mean, that would not have been something I assume that she would have been super happy about. But yeah. Anyways, that's the lore.
Yeah, damn, that's I mean, the problem is some of this is like stuff I'm not particularly familiar with, and therefore my audience isn't familiar with. So probably like, who even is Babs? Like the Edwin stuff has sort of passed me by a bit, particularly the sexual assault claims. What was the deal with that in the end? Did he rape or not? Did Edwin rape?
In my opinion, no. Realistically, there was like a threesome that happened that everyone kind of says was consensual. The part that was getting a little iffy was there was this car ride home from hell, right? There was so Babs salvo pancakes and Edwin were driving from Keemstar's place back to wherever they were going, right? And it's like this long highway or whatever. So supposedly their version of events is we were asking for like active consent. Like, are you okay with this? Are you okay with this? Are you okay with this? Oh, you want to pull over and fuck? Oh, you're not into it? That's fine. that kind of shit, right? Her version of events is she was slowly coerced throughout the course of the trip. So it was like, oh, do you want to pull over and fuck? No, I don't really feel too good right now. I'm not really into that. Or like she puts her hoodie on. Oh, you want to like do this or you want to do that? One
In the
thing leads to
car
another.
whilst
Yeah,
driving.
yeah.
Who is fucking who?
So Salvo and Edwin are in the front of the car. Babs is in the back seat of the car, and they're supposedly asking about like sexual stuff. Edwin claims they weren't too pushy about that stuff, but one thing now leads to another, and they're like sucking on her toes while they're driving. Okay, it's like this whole ridiculous story about like Babs was claiming that like she didn't want them to touch her foot. Let me word this correctly because I don't want to get fucking quoted on it. Basically, Babs is claiming they wore her down and they ended up sucking on her toes. And then Salvo pulled out his cock and started jerking off while he's driving the car with his knee on the wheel. That's a nuclear fucking situation if true. It's a fucking crazy situation if any version of those events are even remotely happening, okay? But then I hear a phone call between Repzilla, Edwin, and Babs, where Babs is like, no, actually, I loved when you sucked on my toes in the car. And I was like, okay, this is just too much for me. If this sounds too complicated, that's because it already is. If this sounds like you can't reach any sort of conclusion on this based on not being there in the car ride to know if this was active consent or if this was coercion, sexual assault in a moving vehicle where she can't escape, that's because it's really quite literally a he said, she said situation, and one that I don't really feel super inclined to die on a hill on, I guess.
Okay. And sorry, there's one more piece of the puzzle that I think I covered at least some of the initial aspects, but the Mama Max thing, there was a woman, Olivia, that came out with some claims against Mama Max. I believe Edwin contacted her to receive to talk about it, and that turned into a sexual interaction.
This girl came out and was like sexually claiming like sexual harassment and stuff like that, and then the entire commentary community is like, "Damn, I want to fuck this girl, bro." So like, I guess like she was like involved with Bunk, Salvo, Edwin, Bo Blacks, because obviously our whole fucking community is like chasing Destiny's BPV leftovers. But yeah, that's how that went. Edwin.
Wait. Bo Blacks was involved.
Oh, you don't know? That's okay. That's actually the biggest part of this. Is that Edwin went on like a dating show on Xylee's stream and set Bo Blacks up with this girl that he then proceeded to end up like so initially he'd reached out because he wanted to cover her story, and then as she'd started acting more sexual with him,
wait, who? Edwin or Bo Blacks?
Edwin.
Okay, Edwin. Continue.
Yeah, I guess Edwin just didn't think Bo Blacks was serious with her, which he absolutely was, which is why that blew up. But there's not really much more to that than this. But that's what the community thinks about it. So Olivia, right? Olivia, the Mama Max girl, reaches out and starts talking to Edwin about covering the story. Things get a little more sexual, and then Edwin makes the real modest decision to stop covering her sexual assault allegations and start talking to her instead.
What a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. But again, in his defense, I'm not going to say in his defense. Basically, this all culminated in him saying nothing sexual happened between him and Olivia. Whilst he later confirms that he like jerked off over FaceTime while she was like naked on camera with her. So I'm like, okay, so like obviously sexual shit happened. Yeah. So that was that. But again, people are critical now, and I think the biggest thing of Colton's video that really resonated with me, and probably the only reason I'm probably not going to speak to too much Edwin further, is that huge seer thing that happened with you. That was on your stream. That's on your video. The whole like Seer is a child trafficker who is interacting with his fans. He said that if you're following Seer, you're following a pedophile. And it seems like the types of content that Edwin was making, as displayed in the Colton video, exercise that he was maintaining like a similar outlook, even if he wasn't outright dating fans the way that he's claiming Seer was. He was obviously making like really weird sexual remarks. Well, not remarks, but like he was sending like shirtless fucking thirst traps to people he didn't know how old they were. That's like, you're just I don't know. He was. I mean, the types of stuff that Aiko was showing me is it felt like in some ways his content was almost like sex ed. It's weird. It's like, when's the perfect time to start fucking? So like when your audience is hearing like the best way to fucking suck an ass or something like that from your content, and then you're like just firing off thirst traps in people's DMs, calling everybody sexy taco, which I understand was a product of its time. I don't know how much of the seer stuff I really respect, even if I did it all, if I believed it. So.
Yeah, sure. And I think, I mean, some of this stuff I think was like 2015, 2016, and he says, "Oh, it was normal at the time to do that," and I'm just like, that reminds me of like emo scene stuff from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Where the question was, I think 2015, 2016 was a bit different, and I don't know if it was the norm.
Man, it's a hard conversation to have because I mean, it was normal to make the occasional blackface joke in 2011, but if you ask anybody, they'll be like, that was never okay. Meanwhile, like every YouTuber is like frantically trying to delete their content from that time frame.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you as well, then, just before you shoot off, is the Logan Paul's partner, whatever her name is. You apparently had a conversation about revenge porn or something about this. What was your take on that?
I think I had a conversation about it.
You spoke to Augie about it on stream.
I did. I mean, I could tell you my take on it, but I don't know if I had a conversation about it. Well, my argument,
the Dylan Dennis thing.
Yeah, my take is it's the same as Destiny. My take is like if those images were like released by an ex-partner or whatever. Oh no, you're talking about Turkey Tom, and we were researching.
Oh, sorry,
it wasn't like
Turkey
an actual
Tom.
take.
Turkey Tom.
I remember what you're talking about now. But no, my take is like if somebody had sent like actual revenge porn to Dylan Dennis and he'd released it, I would say that's definitely wrong. Knowingly or unknowingly, you kind of have to be clear with some of this stuff. If he's just releasing images that are publicly available, the unfortunate part of doing OnlyFans is if someone leaks your OnlyFans content, it's no longer like revenge porn. It's a copyright dispute. I understand that's like a personal picture to you, and you don't want that everywhere.
Well, you're commodifying your body, so you're of course going. It's more of a business contract, whatever dispute than anything else. Yeah.
But I mean, that doesn't give you free reign to release any naked picture she's ever taken, right? If this was sent to a spouse, a partner, if this was like a fucking fappening type leak, that doesn't necessarily give you the free reign to post it to Twitter. But I mean, if it's just publicly available shit, then I don't really care.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest crime is, although at the start there's a funny meme in there somewhere of him posting some of the photos, it's boring and not funny anymore, and I think that's the worst crime of all. I don't know. I think like when he started editing himself into photos with her, that to me entered weirdo lolcow territory. But for some reason, everyone says it's based because I guess it's against Logan Paul.
I mean, how many times are you gonna look at pictures of? I think you were talking about this earlier with what the fuck were you talking about with who's Russell Crowe, Russell Brand? Oh, they're like Epsteining him. Like every time he took a picture with somebody, that guy's a rapist.
Yes, you think they're doing that with her?
They're doing that with Logan Paul's girlfriend. This girl just lives in Hollywood and hangs out in like she's like a Q-list celebrity who goes to like D-list events and she takes pictures with every celebrity she sees. I mean, I'm pretty sure Jerry Seinfeld didn't fucking blow her out, you know? But I mean, it was funny when it was posted. It's like, oh, look, Jerry Seinfeld tapped that ass. Like, I mean, I don't know, dude.
Well, I mean, the funny thing about it is, I mean, I've not looked into the details of it, but he has been, I mean, the legal situation is he seems to be just disregarding that. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't fuck around with that, to be honest. I don't know. It sounds like a bit of a risk.
It feels like a fight between who could drop out faster. I don't think this fight's even going to happen. And normally it's Dylan Dennis. He has like a history of not fighting. Like he's more known as a not fighter than a fighter. When's the last time he fought? 2019 or something like that? He's like jumped. I think he literally bailed out of a KSI fight as recently as a year ago. Right. So like this guy just doesn't fight. And I think Logan's trying to find a way out. I know behind the scenes he's not happy at all. Even more so than it appears publicly.
Okay. Well, there we go. There's your take. Thanks for coming on and laying it all out.
No problem, buddy.
Always good to talk. We'll speak again soon.
Same. We got to set up a stream and cover something together one day.
Yes, I'm up for that. Let's do it. Let's definitely sort that out.
Hell yeah. All right. Peace out, man.
Catch you later. Bye bye. I gotta be honest with you. It's tricky because I think a lot of you just aren't primed to know about some of that stuff. So you'll be like, "What is this? What is that?" But